Neighbors in shock after Lexington police began a homicide investigation early this morning. It's still very much an active scene. How much longer police expect to be here? Coming up.
3 people are dead and a 4th person is in the hospital after a serious crash in Boyle County. Coming up, we'll have the latest on the investigation.
Senator Ted Cruz stirred up even more controversy this morning when he tried to explain his convention speech before his own delegation. I'm Kenneth Craig in Cleveland with his remarks coming up.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. A large police presence is on the scene of a homicide investigation in Lexington involving a woman in her 20s.
This has been going on for hours. It is happening off Malibu Drive, where a body was found around 6 o'clock this morning. We have learned that a suspect is now in custody. And WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is live on the scene now with the latest breaking details. Caitlin.
Good afternoon. We know police are investigating both inside an apartment complex and outside. Right now, police are behind Malibu Manor, where they have a dumpster blocked off by police tape. We know police are investigating the death of a female in her 20s, and the coroner's office is attempting to notify family. It's not clear if she lived or worked in this area. Police have a person in custody and are questioning that person now. Lexington police were called to Malibu Drive just off Nicholasville Road around 6 o'clock this morning to reports of suspicious activity. Residents living nearby can't believe a homicide investigation would happen near their homes.
It's time to move. Seriously, I never thought I would ever see something like this.
You look for it in the neighborhoods that are bad, but you never expect something like this over here because it's a rural, for businesses and stuff, and you really wouldn't think of something like that. But this right here, you know what I'm saying, this is a place where you call home, and it's supposed to be safe and secure, and this, that, and other, and it just don't feel that way.
Police originally had 3 areas blocked off this morning, and the focus right now does seem to be behind Malibu Manor. Police told us they expect to be here throughout most of the afternoon. Live in Lexington, Caitlin Stetner, WKYT.
Caitlin, thank you. Lexington police tell us this seems to be an isolated incident and that residents in the area do not need to worry about their safety.
We're learning more about 3 people killed in an early morning crash in central Kentucky. It happened around 4 a.m. on Kentucky 33 and Faulkner Lane, north of Danville, near the Department of Corrections North Point Training Center. One other person in the car was seriously hurt. WKYT's Mark Barber is in Boyle County now with the latest on the investigation. Mark.
State police say this is where that fatal crash happened. The car was driving down Faulkner Lane, and when it reached the end of the road, it didn't stop for the stop sign or turn onto Highway 33. Instead, investigators say it crashed right into this stone pillar. A mother sits weeping on the ground where the fiery crash killed her son, 17-year-old Jacob Frick. 2 21-year-olds also died, Brianna Kaufman and Matt Darland. All 3 are from Harrodsburg. State police think Darland was the driver. The one survivor is 20-year-old Trevor Thompson. A man who was driving to work around 5 o'clock this morning saw him lying on the ground and pulled him away from the burning car. He was rushed to UK Hospital in serious condition. In this tight-knit community, many people are hurting for the 3 hurting families.
It's a shame that three people lost their lives. I just wish the families well. That's, I hope the families can come to grips with it. It's hard.
State police say it could take weeks to figure out why the car ran off the road. The mother, who was in tears here, says she just wants to know why this happened. In Boyle County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. State police say they don't know if the coroner will be able to perform toxicology tests on the bodies because they're badly burned. Sentencing for a father and son in a high-profile Southern Kentucky murder case has been delayed due to a medical issue. Rexall and Jesse Brown admitted to their roles in the October 2015 shooting of Danny Poor at a Pulaski County cabin. Rexall pleaded guilty to manslaughter in exchange for a 15-year sentence. Jesse pleaded guilty to being a felon in possession of a handgun and is expected to get 10 years. Both men will now be sentenced next Tuesday morning.
Well, it looks like this very warm and sticky feel will be sticking with us for the foreseeable future. We're seeing temperatures getting close to 90 degrees today or so, and while most of us will stay dry, there's a chance of a summer storm later today. Let's check in with WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris. He's live in our First Alert Weather Center looking ahead.
Check out these temperatures. Already 88 degrees here in Lexington, and you don't really see any cloud cover out about it. It's going to be a pretty nice rest of the day. Like Bill was talking about, there really isn't that great of a chance of rain today. Only a pop-up shower or thunderstorm later on this afternoon. But mid-80s right now. We'll finish off in the low 90s later on today. Just a steamy day in the store. The focus of the forecast is about the summertime pattern. Pop-up thunderstorm toward the afternoon is possible. Most are dry, but that summertime heat, boy, it really cranks up. We are under a heat advisory across 65 corridor and back toward the west. Now, there's a reason for that, and it's not for our reason, or not for our region right now. I'll explain that. I'll show you if I see those two be extended into our viewing area coming up in just a few short minutes.
Okay, see you then.
Well, tonight, Republican nominee Donald Trump will give the biggest speech of his political career when he accepts his party's nomination on the final night of the GOP convention in Cleveland.
That speech is taking on some new importance as his former rival, Ted Cruz, continues to stir up controversy and to steal the spotlight. Kenneth Craig has the latest on Campaign 2016.
Senator Cruz, do you regret your remarks last night?
Guys, I'm getting ready to talk to the delegation.
At a breakfast for Texas delegates, Ted Cruz refused to back down about not endorsing Donald Trump.
If you go and slander and attack Heidi, that I'm going to nonetheless come like a servile puppy dog and say thank you very much for maligning my wife and maligning my father.
Cruz stole the show Wednesday night when he snubbed Trump during his speech at the Republican National Convention.
Vote your conscience, vote for candidates up and down the ticket who you trust to defend our freedom.
He was then booed off the stage by many in the crowd who had been cheering up to that point.
I've never heard boos like that. The house, this whole auditorium was literally shaking.
Cruz has rocked not just the Republican convention, but his own state. Texas delegates are split between supporting him and supporting their own party's nominee.
He will never be president. I will campaign against him because all he was doing was helping Hillary Clinton.
It's personal to me because of what Donald Trump did to Ted's family.
People talk about my family, and I get over it. I'm tough.
Trump himself has a chance to win over holdout Republicans when he accepts his party's presidential nomination tonight. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Cleveland.
Well, later today, Ivanka Trump will be introducing her father with a speech that is meant to show a more personal side of the candidate. Here in Kentucky, a state judge says Attorney General Andy Beshear can sue Governor Matt Bevin over his decision to abolish the University of Louisville's Board of Trustees. Governor Bevin abolished the board and replaced all of its members last month. Beshear sued, saying the governor's order is illegal. A Franklin Circuit judge has ruled there was no basis to disqualify the Attorney General's office from suing the governor. This is now the fourth lawsuit that Beshear has filed and has pending against Bevin.
WKYT's Scam Week continues tonight with an online scheme that's bilking thousands from people looking for romance online. Employees at Commonwealth Credit Union in Frankfort say they've already seen 15 romance scams in the past 6 months. We interviewed one victim who was lured into a 9-month relationship where she lost not only money but her sense of security.
They warned me. Yeah, they told me over and over again. Luckily, they never gave up. They never stopped telling me the same thing over and over again because it just wouldn't register because I was clinging to him.
Tonight on WKYT News at 6, a victim tells her story of a money laundering scheme she didn't want to believe.
Interesting report tonight.
We'll be watching. Well, if you've been wanting to try a new restaurant, there's no better time to do it.
Right. Lexington Restaurant Week begins today and it runs through July 30th. Apiary Fine Catering and Events held a kickoff event earlier in the week. And for the next 10 days, more than 36 local restaurants will be offering up special menus at a reduced cost. And part of the proceeds will benefit LexArts. Well, a police officer in Florida is under fire this midday for shooting the caretaker of an autistic man in Florida, and it's all caught on camera. We'll show you the video coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, it was a blast from the past for fans at a Coldplay concert in New Jersey. Find out who made a surprise appearance during the show. Next on WKYT.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. Federal police in Brazil say 10 people have been arrested today. 2 others are still on the run after allegedly pledging allegiance to the Islamic State.
Investigators say the group was using social media to discuss launching an attack during the Olympics, which start August 5th in Rio. They also say there were no specific targets.
Cell phone video shows the moments leading up to the police shooting of an autistic man's caregiver who was unarmed in Florida.
As long as I got my hands up, they're not going to shoot me. This is what I'm thinking. They're not going to shoot me. Wow, was I wrong?
North Miami police say they responded to reports of a man threatening to shoot himself. Officers found therapist Charles Kinsey trying to get his 27-year-old patient back to a facility that he had wandered away from. Police reportedly ordered the 2 men to lie on the ground. Kinsey went down and tried to get his patient to comply when police say an officer fired 3 times, hitting Kinsey in the leg. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, preparing for the funerals of 3 slain police officers who were killed in an ambush last Sunday. Visitation is this evening for City Officer Matthew Gerald. His funeral will be tomorrow morning. The funeral for Sheriff's Deputy Brad Garfafola is going to be on Saturday, and Montrell Jackson, who was also a city officer, will be laid to rest on Monday. All 3 were shot to death by lone gunman Gavin Logg, who was shot and killed by police. Well, Coldplay took concert goers back in time during a concert in New Jersey.
The band brought out actor Michael J. Fox to help rock out to songs from his 1985 sci-fi classic Back to the Future. Fox joined the band on stage after lead singer Chris Martin's son appeared in a video asking for songs from his favorite movie. Fox and the band then sang Earth Angel and, of course, Johnny Be Good, which Fox famously jammed to in the movie. The video now has millions of online views.
Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Woo!
It was a musical joyride for Michelle Obama in the latest edition of Carpool Karaoke on The Late Late Show. The First Lady joined James Corden for a spin around the White House grounds. During the segment, the pair sang Stevie Wonder's Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours, and Beyonce's Single Ladies. They also belted out the female empowerment anthem, This Is For My Girls, with a surprise appearance from Missy Elliott, who popped up in the back seat.
Had a good time,
I love
it looks
carpool
like.
karaoke.
Yeah, oh, I'm telling you, a lot of people do, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, coming next, an overnight police chase lands 1 man in jail and sends a woman to the hospital in serious condition.
We'll have the latest on the investigation coming up in a report on WKYT News at 12:30.
Pop-up shower or thunderstorm is possible this afternoon, but it's really all about the heat as most of us stay dry. I'm going to show you big-time heat sliding in our direction the next few days coming up.
Your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We got a heat advisory in effect through Saturday for the I-65 corridor and back toward the west. So it's really not for a viewing area just yet, most of us at least. But here's the reason why it's there. Remember, that's through Saturday. Here's the reason why it's there and not for us. You see where it is and you see where it's not. Now look at the dew points. Remember, I rarely show these. 59 in Richmond, 63 in Lexington. Yes, it's still sticky, but that's not that bad. Now you get across 65 and back toward the west, 76 showing up in Owensboro. That is nasty right there. Yeah, that's like being down by the beach. I mean, being down by the Gulf of Mexico. And what's going to happen is a lot of that moisture streams eastbound. So once that happens, you'll actually see these numbers jump about 5 to 10 degrees. And when that happens, then you'll start to get those heat indices that feels like temperature toward the afternoon, right around 100 degrees. Today, it's more going to be like 90 to 95 depending on where you are. Still going to be hot, don't get me wrong, but I don't see triple digits today for our neck of the woods. We do stay dry for the most part. About 80% of us do. The other 20% can't rule out pop-up shower or thunderstorm in toward your afternoon. Off into the evening, nighttime hours, no problem. We get in toward tomorrow. No major issues tomorrow, except for the fact there still is a small chance of rain for tomorrow. A couple of rumbles of thunder are possible. It really does pick up a little bit more there on Saturday. The latest weather data that I'm getting on Saturday is a better opportunity of rain on Saturday than opposed to Sunday. Saturday, few thunderstorms. Sunday, more like a couple of thunderstorms. Just know it's hit and miss. Not everybody will see rain, and it still remains hot and humid. The heat index on Saturday, depending on how much rain we're going to be seeing, if you're not under the rain, you're talking about anywhere from 98 to 103 degrees. If you are under the rain, then you're actually going to feel quite nice because that rain really cools out the atmosphere. So all in all, the next few days is about the heat, but you still can't rule out a couple of isolated thunderstorms in the forecast.
Which, as you say, we'll need.
Yes, we will. It'll be nice.
Hopefully cool things off a bit.
All right.
Thank you. We're coming back in a moment. One of NASCAR's greats is returning to the track.
And trying to get Cat fans to the stadium, it's posing more of a challenge. Dave Baker's next with sports.
We'll check stocks as we head to break this afternoon. The major market indicators are down here at midday.
Lots of buzz around the UK football camp this morning as the players got their first look at the just completed indoor training center. We'll get our first look at the facility tomorrow. And the Cats believe this will lead to more results on the field. As a result, more folks coming to Commonwealth Stadium. UK has been pushing season ticket sales, and Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart said the numbers are good, but he understands there's lots of competition for the entertainment dollar.
It's been steady, and we're picking up little pieces here and there. We just continue to grow, and I will tell you this: there's national trends. There's a lot of schools that are finding just the competition with television and the competition with all the other things that are going on in there. A lot of people are just working there. Their numbers aren't quite what they have been, but they continue to work at it. And I have no doubt in my mind that we'll have our stadium, and there'll be a lot of Big Blue fans in there. We'll be fine.
And the only man to take Kentucky to 4 straight bowl games heads the list for this year's UK Athletics Hall of Fame. Rich Brooks, head coach for 6 seasons at UK, of course led the Cats to those 4 straight bowl games, winning 3. Molly Johnson Belcher, UK's first All-American in softball, 4-time All-SEC, owns several school records. She was a member of the Pan Am team in 2011 and currently an assistant coach at UK. Chuck Hayes, SEC Defensive Player of the Year in 2005, 7th in career rebounds, an 11-year NBA career. Bernadette Madigan-Duggan, first UK female to win a national track title. 2-mile run in 1982. She won 2 SEC titles and was an All-American in 5 different events. James Johnson, 3-time SEC medalist, member of Team USA for 12 years, now on the Olympic training staff. And Wesley Woodyard, first team All-SEC twice, UK captain, still playing 8 years strong in the NFL. An attorney for Southern Miss coach Donnie Tyndall says the NCAA's Committee on Infractions missed its deadline to respond to the coach's appeal in its case. And as a result, he's asking that any response from the committee should now be denied and previous penalties against Tyndall dropped. Tyndall faces a 10-year show cause penalty, which he is appealing. And Jeff Gordon is coming out of retirement, albeit for just a little while. He's going to drive for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Gordon will be behind the wheel for this weekend's Brickyard 400. That's his wheelhouse there. And at Pocono, Jr. is still sidelined with concussion-like symptoms. Just like the NFL, he has to pass NASCAR's concussion protocol. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, Kyle Tucker of SECCountry.com, and NFL linebacker Wesley Woodyard, who, as we just mentioned, was voted into the UK Hall of Fame. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Guys, just about now, Mark Stoops getting ready to give his annual address to the Lexington Rotary Club. We'll have highlights of that as well coming up a bit later. But for now, let's look at sports on this Thursday.
All right. It'll be fun to hear what he's seeing in the team this summer. Thank you very much. And keep it here on WKYT for the next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
There's a push to stop a huge merger involving one of Kentucky's biggest employers.
Very much in the active scene as police investigate a homicide in Lexington. The latest on where they say they're focusing their search coming up.
Tomorrow night's Mega Millions is $15 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $390 million.